By the time this review is out, Volkswagen Malaysia is close to or has already launched the facelifted Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace. But before we put our focus on the all-new Tiguan Allspace, we'll have a last look at what made the current Tiguan Allspace rather popular among Malaysians. With that, welcome back to Carsick.my for another review video. The Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace is available in two different variants, the Highline and the R-Line. The variant that we have here is the R-Line, which carries a more powerful engine and sportier styling. From the exterior, the Tiguan Allspace definitely looks longer than the regular Tiguan, and Volkswagen does a good job in ensuring that the extension doesn't look like an afterthought. Personally, the Tiguan Allspace is not a SUV that you want if you prefer your vehicle to stand out from the crowd. It's not a bad looking vehicle, but it lacks the flamboyant design of the French and Korean competitors. In order to spice up the R-Line variant, the Tiguan Allspace R-Line comes with a more aggressive looking body kit and larger wheels compared to the Highline variant. The R-Line body kit includes sportier looking front bumpers, R-Line black rear spoiler, and R-Line badges around the vehicle. As for the larger wheels, the R-Line gets a set of 19-inch rims wrapped in 255/45 R19 tires that really enhance the sporty look of the SUV. Heading on board, I am greeted by the typical Volkswagen interior, where everything is ergonomically placed. Okay, from my driver's seat, this is my viewing angle. It's actually very clear, and you do see that there is a small mirror for to see your blind spot. The driver's seat is actually very comfortable. You do get decent amount of seat side bolster, and the seat bottom has very nice thigh support as well. And of course, you do get the R-Line embossed on your seat. First, we have a digital instrument cluster that get multiple views. You can see, you can go into dials and go into the vehicle. Of course, if you go into navigation, that's where you get to see the full map. And this is the full map version. Let's talk about the infotainment screen. This is a R-Line specific infotainment screen, which is a 9.2-inch screen, and it comes with wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay like you've seen just now. If you go into home, this is menu. This is where the Android Auto is. My phone is actually, you see, there's nothing linked up to it down here, but my phone is connected to the device. So yeah, you can see that the map is here. You can zoom out and go back to home. You can see all the menu. You go into menu, you can see the radio, media, your vehicle. You also can see your air conditioning. Basically, this car comes with 3 zones, so you can see this is 2 zones for the front and 1 zone for the rear. The system so far is very snappy, but from time to time I notice it lags a little, especially when I connect it to my Android Auto. Down here you can see all the aircon controls, which is very easy to use because everything is separate out. So being a Volkswagen, everything is understandable, it's easy to read, and so this is the aircon control. This, you can see the temperatures are both sides here. Then this is where you control your fan. This is where you control the temperature. Then down here we have 2 USB slots and a 12-volt socket that is currently open. You can close it. And then over here we have the start button. We have a regular gear lever. Then of course this is automatic start stop. And this is the park distance control, the front and rear. And then this is the automatic handbrake, and we do have the auto hold. Then this is where you get to see the terrain response. You can see when I turn it, it will show you what terrain response are you driving on. You get Eco, Comfort, Normal, Sport and Individual. So in Individual you can actually configure all this system to suit your driving style. Coming to storage, Volkswagen has done a good job in allowing plenty of storage compartment around the car. So you can see there's one over here, and the glove box. Of course, the glove box is not so big because you can't really store much things. That's used to be a CD player here, but now it's not. But it's actually chilled. Center here, this is a center armrest. You can actually move backwards, open up, and then down here you do get a storage compartment, but this you can actually set at a certain angle that you like. Then down here you get a storage compartment as well, and this storage compartment, you can see this is two different cup holders where this thing actually move out to grip your cups. As you can see here, we get one and two additional storage compartment for the occupants inside the car to store items at the top. You see this thing? It looks like a regular silver plastic, but actually it's made out of real aluminium. It's a very nice touch from Volkswagen. Around the cabin, Volkswagen has given the Tiguan Allspace some subtle ambient lights that makes the interior looks classy after the sun sets. Okay, let's help about the second row seat. You do get two aircon vents and of course aircon controls down here. Then you get one USB-C and a 12-volt socket. Then for rear passengers, you do get this table where you can do your item, with the cup holder as well. You can eat as well. I find the seats a little small. Anyway, you can actually recline the seat for more comfortable sitting position. So once you recline, this is a perfect angle, and with the front seat to my sitting position, I have plenty of knee room, no doubt about that. Then the seats also can be slide backwards and forward if needed. This is the third row seat, so let's climb on board. Hopefully I can fit. Yeah, there's not much space behind here. It's not comfortable at all sitting behind here. It's really for kids to sit. If I were to put the seats back, I really don't have place to put my leg anymore. Okay, let's take a look at the boot. So we have an automatic tailgate. Okay, currently with the third row seats up, we have about 230 liters of boot space. So with the third row seats down, you get even more boot space. Measuring in at about 700 liters, you do get a lot of space to store items. But somehow, you need even more space. You need to store longer items. So what you can do is, you can see here, it's a lever you pull. And here as well, you pull. Now with the second row floor flat, you get even more boot space. You get up to 1,755 liters of boot space, and you can see it's a flat floor. You can slide things all the way to the front. Under the hood, the Tiguan Allspace R-Line comes with Volkswagen's famous EA888 engine. It's a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that is mated to a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Power is sent to all 4 wheels through the 4-motion all-wheel drive system. Here are the facts and figures for the engine. On the move, the Tiguan Allspace R-Line is an easy vehicle to drive fast. Across the rev range, the engine has plenty of torque for the SUV to keep up with traffic, while overtaking can be done in an instant. Under hard acceleration, I was expecting it to accelerate much harder, but it feels more gradual than the figure suggests. Don't get me wrong, the Tiguan Allspace R-Line is still a very fast vehicle when the situation permits. Apart from that, I do notice that the exhaust note sounded very good as well. Helping the engine to transmit the power to the ground is Volkswagen's famous dual-clutch transmission, which is mated to the 4-motion all-wheel drive system. Volkswagen's dual-clutch transmission has always been a quick and snappy transmission when shifting gears, and the same characteristic can be found on the Tiguan Allspace R-Line. The whole drivetrain helps the SUV to accelerate out of corners without breaking a sweat, and it gives the driver a sense of security when driving on twisty roads. Speaking about twisty roads, my first impression of the steering wheel that it's over-assisted. As I start driving the Tiguan Allspace R-Line in the different driving modes, I do notice that the steering wheel does weight up nicely and become more precise when I go into sports mode. In this mode, I start to feel that the SUV shrinks around me, making me feel like I'm driving a jacked up Golf. The handling capability of the Tiguan Allspace R-Line is further enhanced when the DCC mode goes into sports mode as well, giving me the feeling that the SUV is driving on rails. The Tiguan Allspace R-Line also gets a very well-tuned suspension, where it does a good job in soaking up bumps and uneven roads. The suspension has a sense of sophistication in the way it rides over road imperfections. Apart from that, the suspension also does a good job in making sure that the body roll is kept to a minimum when going on a spirited drive. As for the brakes on the Tiguan Allspace R-Line are strong, and the brake pedal does feel progressive when stepping on it. Lastly, let's talk about safety. The Tiguan Allspace R-Line is lacking in advanced driver assistance systems, which is somewhat disappointing. For the upcoming facelift model, hopefully Volkswagen will add on driver assistance features to bring more value to the vehicle. Here are the available safety systems on the Tiguan Allspace R-Line. Overall, the Tiguan Allspace R-Line is a very likable vehicle and it really impresses me. Currently, the pre-facelift Tiguan Allspace R-Line is priced at 210,000 ringgit. When the facelift arrives, I hope that Volkswagen Malaysia could retain the vehicle price yet add on advanced driving assistance features. If you have a passion for driving and you need the practicality of a SUV, I think the Tiguan Allspace R-Line is the vehicle for you to consider. Hope you enjoyed this review. Please help leave a like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you have any thoughts, feel free to leave a comment below. If you want to find out more about the Tiguan Allspace R-Line, head on over to our website carsick.my. See you soon. Bye.